Hey everybody, this is QiWiz, and I'm just making a quick video to tell you about my ultimate Esbit system. So let's look at how the whole system works. The cornerstone of the system is the burner, which I call a fire ring because it makes a ring, and the ring goes around your Esbit cube. And there are some air inlets on both sides that can either be oriented towards the bottom of the cube or towards the top of the cube like this. If they're on the bottom, the cube burns at its normal temperature and normal speed, and so it takes about 15 minutes for the cube to burn completely. On the other hand, if the air inlets are up, it doubles the burn time and reduces the heat output by half, so it burns for about a half an hour. So if you're doing dry baking or you want to simmer something for a long time, that's very useful. If you're not familiar with Esbit, it comes in packs. Generally, you get a box of 12 tabs. Each tab weighs a half an ounce, and with good wind protection, a tab will bring 3 cups of water to a boil. A half a tab will heat up 2 cups of water, but not really bring it to a boil. So it's a very light fuel. The other parts of the system are something I'm calling the hinge. And there's more information about the hinge in my burners and pot supports page, but basically the hinge folds flat but opens up, and you put it to about a 60-degree angle, and then you can put your pot on. So in the case of this system, let's say we were using a windscreen, we'd put the windscreen on first, and then we'd put our pot on the hinge, and we'd be all ready to go and cooking. You can use this with the Firefly stove, and in that case you would want to get the multi-fuel system windshield to provide the full wind protection around your burner with the use of the Firefly. But in any event, one of the nice things you can do with this system is dry baking. So to do the dry baking, the first thing you need is something to keep your baking pan off the bottom of your pot. So there's something I call an X spacer that goes in your pot. And then there's a special pan that's made out of a tooling aluminum that is flexible and can be bent and rebent, so opened and made flat or bent into a pan. And the way you make it into a pan is just to pinch the corners in, kind of go around like that. Kind of work on it till you get it into a nice square pan. And then when you're done, it's going to look something like this. And you can see I've bent the corners in, or bent them around, just to make it easier to fit in the pot. So then you'd put your bake mix in here, put that in your pot, and you'd be ready to go. Again, you'd get your burner going. You'd have the air inlets on top, put your pot on with your bake mix in, and you'd be ready to go. And in about a half an hour, you would have a nice piece of cornbread or a nice muffin. The size of this, once it's put into a bake pan, will cook about a third of one of these Jiffy muffin mixes, which makes 6 muffins. So it's about the equivalent of 2 muffins. So it's a big corn muffin. If you get the Betty Crocker plastic bag mixes that make 6 muffins, you can take a 2 muffin sampling of that. Some mixes need milk and some need eggs. If you use like the Jiffy mix, it needs both milk and eggs. I recommend the Nido powdered whole milk to use, and I recommend the Ova Easy egg crystals to use if you want to bring eggs or milk on trail. So I hope that's helpful to you. Let me just show you how it all packs up, because I think that's interesting as well. So when you're done, even though this thing is a ring, it'll fold flat for you. And it'll go on the base, which is part of the system, along with the X spacer. And then you can just fold over the edges like so. And you have a nice flat pack to go in your pack or in your pouch if you're carrying a Firefly. And this is also flat, so it's a very compact system. When you're ready to use it again, this tooling aluminum bends out very easily and opens up. You can straighten out the creases, and you're ready to go for your next burn. So I hope that's helpful. If you haven't tried Esbit, I highly recommend it as something you'd want to use on trail. Give it a shot, give it a try, and have great hiking adventures next time you're out in the backcountry, and think about making something like a dry baking treat for yourself. Take care. So what does it weigh? The fire ring, the base, the X spacer, the hinge, and the bake pan all together weigh just 20 grams.